computer church to life. Incoming orders from Starfleet Command.
Okay.
Boy.
Relay orders.
Okay.
I think you're supposed to say on screen.
Nope,
For
she,
transmissions.
she doesn't. She doesn't have to.
I don't
She's-
have to.
She said relay orders, so it's going to come up on her armchair. There is a merchant service science vessel, not a Starfleet vessel. A merchant service science vessel, the SS Tesla, went missing about 4 weeks ago. You're ordered to go out into the expanse, into the Orgun system.
Or gun system.
Yes,
Not Oregon.
Orgun system,
Organa.
and
No
to
organ
locate
system. They might
to
be
locate and render aid to the SS Tesla.
It was.
Okay.
Sick, I can heal you.
character. That.
Okay,
I'm
it's
not
just
sure what's-
printed out on your ship. Okay,
I'm not sure what's
So,
out of character. I'm not sure what sort of aid they need.
I have the SS Tesla went missing 4 weeks. That was
Yeah.
a merchant class ship. Went missing 4 weeks ago, and something similar to Oregon, but not called Oregon system.
Good.
And they need aid.
They went missing and they need aid.
well, they went missing, and you are
You have to
ordered to
Okay,
find
fine.
them and render aid if necessary, and find out where they.
So their last known coordinates. Do we have their last known coordinates?
They were heading toward the Orgun system.
Hey!
Um,
Cannonball.
Now, most of you understand that there is a disparity between the Federation citizens of Earth and Starfleet. Starfleet has one way of life, and sometimes that contrasts with the extreme freedoms peoples of Earth have. And this vessel, it sails from Earth under a merchant license. They are a science craft, which means that they were probably doing some research for a university or plotting finding somewhere some habitable planet for a colonization concern. They are not a Federation vessel. They are a Earth-chartered merchant vessel. And if any of you have had dealings with them before, you can get reactions all across the board. Sometimes they understand that it has a job to do, and they'll do what you say. But other merchant class of captains that you come across kind of want to deliberately rub the Federation the wrong way, because they have freedoms that other
we don't
vessels
need your authority. You're
like
not under-
if there was a foreign ship in Federation space, you could say, "Stop! I'm going to inspect your ship. We're going to tear it apart. We're going to scan it. We're going to do whatever we want to because we're the police here, and you're in our territory."
If it's an
But
Earth
if it's
ship,
an Earth
then-
ship, they're a protected class. They're human
Gotcha.
beings. You cannot order them about as if you would another Federation ship or a foreign ship.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So
Lieutenant Martinez trips up. Your orders, Captain?
make for the organs.
Course laid in. Engaging. Desired velocity. That came from Ensign Zion. Yeah.
Oh, how far are we from? How far are we from there? Or where we are in relation. So I don't know if we should.
It's probably just a few. It's 3 or 4 days away, depending on the velocity.
4 or 5?
Alright.
I don't.
That's what Ensign's whispering.
I want to so bad.
Ensign's just ready to lay in top speed.
Warp 7.
Alright.
I want to
Warp
so
7
bad.
engaged, Captain. And you guys
I
hear
want to so bad.
the nacelles fold up. And you guys are off like a rocket. Had you remained behind, you would see the little flash off in space, but you're aboard the ship. And the site you have, those of you by a portal, and you down in engineering, the warp coil starts pulsating magnificently, and everything hums to life in engineering.
And it's
And
like, what's going on?
but those of you by a view screen or a portal see the wonderful sight of the rainbow colors that you've been missing for the last 3 weeks. Stars just kind of crawled by. Now you've got the rainbow stripes of stars.
Right, because we're going so fast.
This is the speed that you have been missing.
Now this is the way to travel.
This is the speed I've lived 25 lifetimes to get.
And
Alright, so you guys are in for a couple of days of travel.
okay.
Then you're going to have to spend some time trying to you know that they were heading to the Oregon system, ORGUN system.
Oregon Trail.
You know that the name of the ship is the USS Tesla. So you guys, you know it's your job to get a staff meeting together, a briefing, and present everyone with the information they know. You can assist with that as you desire, or you can take over, but you guys should do some research. You guys should.
But are we researching out of character?
Well, one of the things we need to research, and this is in and out of character, is as best as possible. We know they were going there. We don't know how close to there they actually got. We need to, as best as possible, we can find the last known coordinates of this.
And also, what was their probable destiny?
Yeah, if they were going to a specific place within this. Is there a place that's?
You really don't. Unfortunately, this was Starfleet bus, and you'd be able to pull up all that information.
It is.
It's
But
a
because we're
merchant
looking
class
for a merchant
vessel.
class. Well,
You don't have their orders. You're not really privy to
we
where
don't
they
have
were
their orders,
going.
but can't we make an educated guess by why why a merchant might usually visit that area?
Sciencing stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
especially
also-
since it's a science vessel.
And also, we might not have privy to their orders and such, but since they're an Earth vessel, wouldn't we have some? They're not they're private, but not private. Wouldn't we have some sort of coordinates for them at all, or no?
You could try patching into the merchant services database and seeing what you can pull up.
All right.
What role is that?
Yeah. Who's
It's not anything you need to roll for. It's just something you.
whoever best at that? Get on that. Who's
Wait,
good with
what's the role?
communications?
What's the combos?
He said we don't need to roll for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
But in character, I still whoever.
Yeah, because
Can I roll for it actually?
Because I was saying, it's like
Oh no.
I've got a talent for things that they use the
Can I
computer. So
see if you can find out a probable
I have a focus in subspace communication.
where they were when they were last communicating with them. I understand they're not a Starfleet vessel. It might not be easy to get that information. See if you can pull something up by looking through Merchant Vessel Command.
Okay,
I'll see what I can find, Kevin.
let's just handle this one at a time. You do a couple of days of work on this, and you're able to patch in to the merchant class, and you talk to a bunch of people that really don't want to deal with Starfleet. But eventually you find out they are working for one of the private Earth universities, and they were just the area of the Shackleton Expanse has a great number of anomalies, temporal and spatial anomalies.
It's gonna be
Um,
tomorrow.
Yes,
This could get interesting.
and that's what they were going to measure. I mean, you probably actually would understand, but there's some puzzle that they were trying to figure out, some mathematical physics type equation that they were trying to solve.
All right.
So what type of anomalies?
There's temporal and spatial anomalies.
Spatial.
Those are generally the two types of anomalies, and they're all over the Shackleton.
Well, it's no wonder they got lost if they went out exploring that.
He knows where they are now.
Or when.
They're
Okay.
probably fine though. Somewhere weird.
Maybe they're Neanderthals too.
I swear.
I hope not. I've seen enough Neanderthals. Or
Seen in
Never thought you said
distinct
Neanderthal this year, would
species.
ya?
nope. Guess you never know. Alrighty.
Out of character.
Never in my 25.
So that's what
Well, hopefully it isn't something to.
it's not jumping out and biting me, but you do find the class of the ship. It's basically it's a runabout style vessel. Only would seat the crew. You do have a crew manifest for the ship if you want to hear all the names and positions. But the ship is basically a runabout that has very nice civilian grade sensors. I mean, yours are still
Better.
sounds
Well-
better, but they have very
Of course
nice
ours are.
civilian grade
But
sensors.
for them, it's a pretty damn good.
right. All right.
How many people were on board?
Yeah,
There was
that
a
part
crew
is
of 6.
crew of 6.
Who is the
All right. In that
leader
case, I do
captain?
want to know the names
The captain,
since there's not too many.
the captain and lead scientist and systems engineer was Captain Andrew Forrest. Or no, actually, that's not right. That's what they wrote here. That's not proper. It would be Skipper. Skipper Andrew
Yeah.
Forrest. All right.
Wait,
Everybody
Skipper?
got that?
Gilligan and the professor too.
But so.
All right. There is
Skipper Andrew what?
Andrew
Forrest.
Forrest.
And he's also chief engineer.
He's systems engineer.
He's like everything.
He was also the
Five other
scientist.
He probably knows a lot more about the sensors and taking readings. He probably knows, in fact, a little more than a Starfleet graduate about how to take sensor readings and do the science off of them.
Any other information?
We're getting
He's
the
been
rest of the
doing it
crew.
for a long time. The next person is Dr. Emmett Sherman, and he was the lead astrophysicist.
Peabody and Sherman.
Lead astrophysicist.
Science 6.
Butchered that spelling, but that's okay.
It's space
And
physics.
There is someone you went to college with.
who?
Before you went to Starfleet University, wherever you went to college. His name is Ibab Thabet. It's spelled IBAB space THI apostrophe BHET. And he's an Andorian, and he was a biologist. Alright.
Okay.
There was Dr. Norma Grange,
Grange.
a
Granger.
human physicist,
Got it too.
and she's written several paper. Anyone with an interest in physics would have heard her name before.
Physics.
Okay.
There is Oramu, ORIMU, Oramu Baz, who's a Trill.
Like James.
Joined or non?
Has two names, so you're assuming he's joined.
But doesn't a non-joined Trill also have two names?
Yeah, but you're thinking Faz. That sounds like a Trill name.
Okay.
Right. Faz. Yeah.
And he was a chemist and a xenobiologist.
I have
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Yes, it's a chemist. He's a chemist and a xenobiologist. Alright, and then there's Dr. Thea Lort.
See ya.
And she's a biologist and a medical doctor.
So they're all humans except for the Trill and the Andorian.
So, you said that was all the information you can pull?
Yes. Yeah, you after a couple of days studies, that's a good condensation. Be able to.
So, I did do that, and I report to Captain
Whatever.
Captain
Jim.
Jim.
to Jen,
To
and
Jen Cater.
with my discoveries because she's the one who ordered me to.
He's in charge.
My name is Neil.
There isn't a way for us to do like researching on where the ship was, right? Because it's not Starfleet.
You know where the ship was about. They were in the vicinity of Oregon 2. And you find out there are several anomalies just outside the heliosheath of the Oregon system. You find out that the Oregon system has 2 M-class planets, both with populations protected under General Order Number 1, the Prime Directive. Oregon 2 has a primitive civilization equivalent to medieval Earth. The residents call themselves the Slithar, and they are violent and warlike. And there's Oregon 3 is the other M-class planet. They've got a race called the Warmians, and they're quite different. They're a mammalian species resembling humanoid lemurs.
What?
They are noted for being very peaceful and communal. Their technology is equivalent to mid-21st century, just pre-warp, but they're still pre-warp. and they're still covered by the Prime Directive.
Possible. Have the people of the United's been like asked if they saw anything or have any reports of like it passing them?
Do you understand the Prime Directive?
You don't go contacting with primitive species.
Yes, these are both
We
pre-war
can't talk to these
civilizations,
people.
Oh.
and you can't contact them. You can't
But the
do
ship
any.
we're looking for could have.
Yeah,
They're
they
not
could
under the
have.
Prime Directive.
They're not bound by the Prime Directive.
But if we want to go down there among them and talk to anybody,
We'll have
we
to
have
go
to pretend
incognito.
incognito and pretend like we're medieval or. Well, wait, you said the medieval ones were reptilian?
Mhm.
I thought you said they were lemurs.
That's
the second one.
21st century. Pre-warp 21st century.
So I thought I thought the Prime Directive was like to seek new life.
No, the Prime
Yeah.
Directive is about not contaminating other culture.
Now,
Yeah, I didn't get the names of the two species.
Orgon 2
Mm-hmm.
has the warlike and violent Slithars.
I didn't catch the name of the lemur, like,
Orgon 3 has the lemur-like Lormian.
Lormian. Cool name.
Okay.
So basically, we have a bunch of primitive lizard men and a bunch of furries.
Lemurs in general, and notice it's the same for the planet. Most species tend to be either matriarchal or patriarchal. Most tend to be patriarchal. This one does not have a hierarchy built on who's the hunter and who's the protector, because the patriarchs are usually the hunters and the matriarchs are usually the protectors. They value family units, and that's extremely rare for a planet to develop like this. You figure there must be an amazing lack of predator species, and there must be very, very few comparative Lormians for them to exist so peacefully so early in their development. It's very, very
Honestly,
rare.
I feel like the best decision we have here is to just try going over to that area and seeing what we can.
Like, be hush hush about it.
Well, obviously, don't like go visit the planets or anything, but go in that area and see if we can
We
find.
could go
The
incognito.
ship that we were in.
We can if we need to. It's gonna be a little bit harder to. If they were more humanoid, it would be different. But it's gonna be a little bit harder to disguise
Wait, you
ourselves
said
as
it's-
lizard creatures
It's
or
my
Lormians.
my
Well,
job
but
to
I don't mean like visiting the
Mhm.
planet.
No, I was talking to her. She said we could go visit if we went incognito, and I said it's
Yeah.
going to be a little bit hard for us to go in
Oh,
because they're
Do I
not
have to do that
humanoid.
in character, or can they just
As long,
say I told briefing?
especially
Whichever
with the
you wish to
lizard
do.
people, that is where the ship was known to be last, the Tesla, and their technology is not as high as the Lormian technology. So as long as we don't get too close, we should be able to be there, scan the area without breaking the Prime Directive or detecting anyone, being detected. I mean, hopefully we'll detect something important.
We could
What?
detect-
You know,
It's a spaceship.
since that's where they were seen last around that planet. As long as we keep a good distance.
Yeah, like,
So-
are we able to do perhaps like some sort of like a sensor sweep of the planet for the ships if we can do it that way?
right now, I'm doing a scene that's before you reach the solar system.
Okay.
And
So
then
for now,
once you
we're
reach-
still
Right, I
this
mean,
is all.
we aren't there yet. I'm just
But
knowing what I
certainly
know
once you move
of,
on to the next scene, that's absolutely
knowing
something.
what I know of the system, where I'm making
It's
plans for
not
what
a-
we're gonna do when we get there.
Would it be
It's
a
not
Well,
a
it's
solar
kinda like-
system.
Just kind of like throwing
The
out
sun-
ideas.
That's up to
There's
you and
only-
the captain.
There's only one soul. She's
Um,
right. It's a system, not a solar system, because their sun is
A
not.
star
The
system.
organ
Captain
system.
Sijin.
Captain Peter,
What?
last name.
Oh. Sorry,
Last
Captain
name?
Gator.
And me.
I'm
The,
Groot.
Most
I
witches
think
don't have a
it
last
would be
name.
an appropriate time to hold a briefing.
Well, if nobody had the appropriate
Yes.
time to hold a briefing is when everybody's done doing all the research they can do. Is there anything else anyone wants to know or do?
Is it possible to go through like the history of like catalogs of like any potential interactions with like merchant ships or thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, ships have met merchant ships all the time.
Possible that we or like
Well,
Maybe
I
that
mean,
this ship might have-
he's
well, I
gotten
grew up
in.
in. I
gotten
grew up
in.
on a colony that used merchant ships all the time.
Yeah, and he also, if you want to spend a momentum, you can be familiar with the Tesla, and you could have encountered the Tesla before.
Probably
Or
Sure.
I can just, if I need it, I can. Just
I think
say
James has it now.
Okay, so yes, you are
Pass the
very
pigeon.
familiar with Tesla. You've met Skipper Forrest before.
Okay.
You've been inside the vessel, and you know all about it. So what information in specific were you looking for about that? Or did you want to know about the merchant service, or did you want to know about that particular vessel?
that particular vessel, like what exactly were they like shipping and
Anything, they were doing scientific surveys. They were completing a physics study about the spatial and temporal anomalies in the Shackleton Expanse. It was an academic, but I mean, it was an academic study. It wasn't anything,
like
with it was knowledge for knowledge's sake.
but it wasn't like a bunch of super intelligent, like top of the lines.
Oh, these were pretty good guys. I mean, you tend to think that the best of the best go to Starfleet,
Yeah.
but for people that aren't in Starfleet, they're pretty much rock. Each one of them are rocks of their particular area.
I'm just trying to think of like the potential motive that would happen here. Was it like a freak accident? Was this planned?
Well, you don't know much about what happened to the vessel itself,
Okay.
but just to give you a picture, you know who Jacques Cousteau is, right?
The name sounds familiar.
He was a marine biologist, and he had his own ship, and he would go out and study different marine science on board his ship
Like
for a university.
starfish
Yeah.
and
He
dolphins.
went scuba diving.
Does that answer your questions?
Oh,
Like,
the fish are pretty. They're good stench.
Okay. Anything anybody else wants to do before we go into the briefing?
Not
What
that I can think of at the
are-
moment.
Well, let's see.
Probably will have.
Where do you?
Right
I'm
now.
trying to think of. Is there anything special about the specs of the ship? We already know that the sensors are pretty good for civilian sensors.
Right, it's sort of a runabout.
That is kind of a runabout class as far as size and everything. Like how fast warp could it go?
It could go about warp 6 if you were really pushing the ship and you know you had a great pilot at the helm.
Okay. Okay. All right. I think I'm ready. Get to the briefing.
All
Oh,
right,
yeah, alright.
let's do this.
All right.
All the brief.
All right. So you are all in just behind the bridge. There's the observation lounge. There's a long conference table, and you know on both sides you have what appear to be you know a glass ceiling all around you, domed. You can just see all the stars zooming past you on either side.